Alright guys, so now we're going to be looking at a technique when we fall to the underhook side. We were going to the overhook side before, and we showed a couple of chokes that I like. Now on this side, we're going to be looking at the armbar. So first of all, if I can attack the choke and not give up the back, that's smarter. I want to keep this position. A lot of the time when the armbar goes wrong, I end up on the bottom and she ends up turning into my closed guard, and I make a pretty bad trade. I trade back control for closed guard essentially. Not a good trade. So if you can avoid doing the armbar, it's better. Sometimes you got to go for a higher risk technique. So this usually happens when she dictates what side we're on. I'm usually not going to choose to go to this side if I can. I don't like it as much. I feel like it's easier for her to scrape off of me and escape. But we ended up on this side. So we're playing over here. I want you to see how I use a similar posture that we were using in the last video. My chest is pointing more towards the ceiling. It's not mirroring hers right now. This position right here is going to be much easier for her to swim her head and start getting her shoulders to the mat. And we're going to be dealing more with an escape. So I like to kind of cut her off by pointing my chest up more towards the ceiling. And then we're going to go from our seatbelt to like a Kimura grip, but instead of here, we're going to have her head stuck. You'll notice, just like the last video, this is going across her waist. If your legs are long enough and your opponent is skinny enough, you can play body triangle here too. I personally like to have my legs working. I feel like the body triangle makes it hard to adjust your angle, but whatever, longer leg people tend to like this kind of control. I like to just kind of step on the hip right here. It's also going to help me, assist me in moving offline with my armbar. So when I do this technique, I want to make sure that I don't step on the floor. I want to step on her hip, and I want to move her down towards my hips. See that right there? That makes it easier for my leg to come around her head. So, sort of like the way we bring our leg around her head when we do the armbar from the guard, we're going to do the same thing with our bicep right here. So we're going to move her down towards the hips, shave her head, and I'm going to make this frame against her head right now. That way if she tries to stack or drive into me, I can slow her down a little bit. So when this leg comes over, I don't want to try to do this and like sit up. I want you to see how my leg swims over, and then I'm going to internally rotate my hip. That should push her head down a little bit. Internal rotation, and then I'm going to drive my heel to the floor. And I don't want to kick her away and extend. I want to sit up with some momentum. I also want you to notice that her triceps stay connected to my center line the whole entire time. So when we come up, my body should still be plated against the back of her shoulder, her scapula right here, all the way up through her tricep. You'll see if I extend my legs and kick her away from me, she will escape the elbow and turn into my closed guard. Yeah, she's going to come up on top. And then I'll be set. So, I'm here. I swim this over, make my frame, and that helps make some space, internal rotation, heel to the ground. Sit up. Triceps nice and tight. I'm almost pulling up right here. And then I can go into my armbar details right here. I like to touch two hands on the wrist. Two hands to the wrist keeps her from being able to hitchhiker and move out. If I just have like one hand right here, or if I double up like this, you'll see she can start moving around. So let's go through it really quick again. The side, wrist to wrist, step and move, swim, frame. This is going across the hip. Swing the leg, internal rotation, heel to the ground. Tricep plated, pulling up. One other nice detail, I actually like to extend this leg and touch my heel to the ground rather than curling it. It puts more pressure on her face. Makes her not want to turn into me so much. So I sit back, here, 1, 2. Hips to the sky. And that's the armbar from the back, guys. Thank you.